I guess when you sit and you watch the marketing and the advertising, like when I'm watching the Detroit Pistons game, it makes me think of the Flint Tropics, which never existed. It's a mythological invention for entertainment, for a comedy movie. There was never a Flint Tropics in the ABA. There was the Kentucky Colonels. There was a St. Louis Blues. There was the Utah Stars. There was the shit. I'm trying to think of some of the other teams. There's Kentucky, Virginia Squires. Did Pittsburgh have a team for a while there? There's the Pythons. Were they in the ABA? I can't remember. But there was quite a few teams. They had about 12 or 14 teams or something in the ABA before they merged with the NBA, and they took, I think, 6 teams, was it? Was it Denver? Or was it 4? Denver, Indiana, the New York Nets, the San Antonio Spurs. It was the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, the San Antonio Spurs, and the New York Nets. And I think that's it. I think that's all the teams that they absorbed from the USFL, XFL thing. I'm not sure. I don't quote me. I have it on the movie. I have it on the Semi-Pro, which is a very stupid movie. Oh, it's kind of stupid. Makes me laugh. Yeah, especially the part of the bear. Spumoni, Spamonia, it's funny, and he's bring those nachos. He's got, it's funny. That's a stupid movie, but God, it's funny. Oh, that movie makes me laugh. Yeah, it's one of my. I have Elf and Semi-Pro, and I do have Stranger in Fiction. That's not that funny though. That's more like a Robin Williams type movie, where it makes you think it's funny, but it's like, whoa, that's pretty interesting and weird. And but it's a funny movie. Not Stranger in Fiction, but yeah, Semi-Pro guy. It's a funny movie. It makes me laugh. It's a train wreck. It's like good old Amy Winehouse and other people that I like. It's like, God dang, that's a train wreck. Oh, it's a total train wreck, right? But you can relate. And I think that's why a lot of that stuff sells, is because people can relate, because their life is just a fucking train wreck, right? And it's like, that on, what's the name of that? One of Doggy movies, Patrick's? Dostoevsky or whatever. A miserable being seeks other miserable being, then he is happy. Just to know that other people are having to survive this fucked train wreck with you, it's like, okay, why don't we all stand up for the Lord's Prayer? Then we can sit around and listening to people sing about old fucked train wrecks a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And aren't you glad we ain't living those train wrecks? A 5-story fire as it came. Love is a losing game. One I wish we never paid. Oh, what a mess we made. That song, I think of that, makes me think of Amy, and what a mess we made was the poor kids. And when I cried to MacArthur Park about my second wife, Amy, it was because of the poor kids. And when I thought of sad songs and stuff with Stephanie, it was hard because, it was Patrick. It affected Patrick. It hurt. He would sit there and say, why did she go to the bars with those other women? Why doesn't she stay home with us? And I tried to explain to her, you yelled at your mom for going to the bars to try to find somebody. And she did. She brought home Shelby, who was a real sweetheart and just a loving person. And I said, you doing the same thing. You just doing it with women. Ain't no different going to the bar looking for people to have sex with. It doesn't matter what's between their legs, right? And I kept trying to tell her that to her, And in our first year of divorce, she sat there and says, you're just jealous of me because I've had more sex with more women this last year than you've had your whole life. And I looked at her, I said, Steffi, that's nothing to be proud of. I have sex with people because I choose to have sex with them, because I give them my trust and I want to have something special and meaningful with them. I don't see sex as a conquest. I don't see sex as an opportunity. I see it as a sign of trust and of a promise of, I'm going to be here for you, and I'm going to protect you and comfort you. And when we have kids, I'm going to be there for them to the best of my ability. And I used to tell women that. It's the only thing I can promise you is that I will keep my promises to you, and I will do my best to be there for you. And that's all I can promise you. I can't promise you that Lee Harvey Oswald won't blow me off the street, that James Earl Roy won't blow me off the balcony, that the National Security Agency and NASA won't poison me to death and display everybody in the world to me and everybody in the world. Say, you want to be like this man? Like they did to Jesus in the Roman Empire, you know? And then when you say that to people, oh, you're not God. Look, I'm the only person I know that acts like you're Jesus. And you constantly remind me that I'm nothing like him and that he's your God and Savior, and I'm going to go to hell in your head, and you're going to go to heaven in your head. And I don't like your fucking head, so stop telling me about it. Okay? I don't want to hear it. If you can't stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me, I don't want to hear a damn thing about your pathetic Jesus between your fucking ears. Open your bucking eyes, right? That's what I say to people. That's why I said it nicer to my nephew on Easter Sunday, but I said it and made sure everybody heard. You know? If you tell me you love Jesus and he's your God, I'm going to make sure you stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me. And if you don't, I don't give a damn what you believe, and I don't care where your heaven and your hell is, because I don't want to live between your damn ears. Open your fucking eyes, right? That's the way you got to be with people. If you're not that way with people, why do you think they crucified Jesus? You think they crucified Jesus because they were happy with what he said to them? Because they liked hearing him talk? Because he made them feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Gemini, how do we put this basketball thing together? Gemini, how do I kill this spider? Meta, how do I talk about things that are arrogant to make me feel important? Meta, how do I discuss gibberish to make me feel like I'm a philosopher in front of these idiots that I want to have sex with the brown guy over there? Help me, Meta. Meta, could you please load up the Kama Sutra for us to explore when we're doing that? I mean, fuck you, right? That's what you want to say. Privacy goes a long way. Okay? Being a marketing tool bag sitting in an arena with lots of money and no idea what's whack and what's dope should be very embarrassing in the 21st century, especially since the Messiah from the book of Revelation has a YouTube and watches TV. And most of you people pray to him as a God, and he don't listen to you because you ain't worth listening to. Right? Why the fuck would I listen to you? How much money do you need? The answer? None! How much love do you need? He's right here on YouTube. They're dancing in the streets of New York because it got a bunch of people that do propaganda sales. Okay? For genocidal corporations just won a basketball game. And they got one lady standing there all tatted up, sitting there looking like she's going to cry because the Pistons lost. And it's like, you know, it really makes you want to go all, what's the name of that guy? You ever seen that movie, Bronx Tale? When Sonny sits there and tells, see, you know, working man's a chump. Yeah, you cried when Mickey Mantle cried, right? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year, and your dad's struggling to feed his kids. And you think Mickey Mantle gives a shit about you and your dad? Okay. Let's get all Machiavelli right here, right? Jesus does. Okay. Jesus gives a shit about Mickey Mantle and his sin, and Jesus cares about you accepting Mickey Mantle's sin as heroic. Okay? Because Jesus and me are one. And I will be abused by assholes until further notice, until you recognize and stand up with me. Right? That's how perfect I am. If you can find a more perfect man that's not between your ears, let me know so I can go up to him and wash his feet with my grateful tears. Okay? But if you don't know a more perfect man that doesn't reside in a comic book between your ears, please keep that to your fucking self, especially around children. That's child abuse and it's neglect. All right? You keep thinking that your money makes you important. You keep thinking that your money makes you better than me. Okay? Mark Zuckerberg knows how much money I was offered and said no to on his social media site. Not once, but twice. Okay? And he has a virtual presence signed with legal contracts from the Supreme Court to fleece you and slice you and dice you and then ice you. And you guys all think he's a great guy and want him to come to your town and create jobs for your community. He can't create shit. He can invent his ego into a bullshit artist, and then he can have you buy the bullshit. Okay? Or you can literally come and physically talk to me and say, how can I be like you? Stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me and stop being on these damn beer commercials on TV with all these pendejos sitting there. Estrella Jerusco. Fuck you. Fuck you and your little dog too. I was raised in Latino communities where friends brothers were shot execution style at the park, fighting over drug territory from drunken fucking pieces of shit like you on the TV, trying to make it say, I don't want any of my kids to grow up like you, and I don't want them to go to Southwest University to learn how to put people back in the streets with medical research. So, Richard Milhouse Nixon's and Nelson Rockefeller's relatives can make fake-ass money off the torture. Hi. How are you guys doing? Was that pet detective enough for you? Stupid dog, I'm going to get a cat. Okay. Yeah. If you suck on that Red Bull ice, wouldn't it still be able to make the penguins fly? I don't know. I love you guys, all right? Peace.